Hi all, Lori here from Lori's World with an update on my garden progress. It's getting for some to be the end of summer. We're in Louisiana, so we got a couple more months over everybody else. I'm bragging just a little, but I plucked my first cantaloupe. They tell you to take the one that's been there the longest to judge how much longer the other ones have. So I'm going to take you along for the journey as I do my first cantaloupe, and then I'll go take you out to see how the rest of the garden's doing. So I hope you enjoy. All right, guys, here's my first cantaloupe. It's had the markings, the color, not very green. So I'm going to cut into this melon and let's see what we've got. There it is, guys, my first cantaloupe. I see some white still around the edges, so it tells me that I can actually give it a little bit longer, the rest of the melons. So I can give them another week or two. But man, if you could only smell how fresh that cantaloupe is. Let me see how soft it is. Let me get a fork. Not good, I got a spoon. Oh, look at that. Look at how tender. It just goes right into the meat. This is my first attempt, guys. And man, you could tell how orange that is if I would have just given this another week. But as a first-time gardener, you know what I mean? So being a first-time gardener is hard to try to judge on what my fruit should be. The inside is nice and tender, where the outside of the melon is still not quite ripe. Still could be eaten, though. Just got to cut around the outside. But I'm going to take you outside to show you the rest of my garden, so you could see that even with the ups and downs, killing some baby plants and then growing some, this is what I ended up. So don't be afraid. I'm going to show you. All right. Pomegranate. My pomegranates. They don't look like they've grown much, but it's been raining so much. And then the beefsteak tomatoes that I got from the tomato that I showed you I was doing. But then there's that one. And I have a couple more tall ones that are starting to sprout. But there's another pomegranate. But the surprising one is, look at that pomegranate bush. She is taking off. I've had to already stake her up, and she's growing. The tomatoes, we are at the very end. Won't be long, and this one will be done. I got about 6 more. And then over here, we are still getting quite a few blooms with baby tomatoes. So I've still got some time with this one still. All right, let me take you over to the other surprises. Okay. These are the strawberries, and now they are starting to bloom and actually give me bigger strawberries. Look at them all. I guess it should be early spring or late summer for strawberries, especially in the heat. But there's the beginning of one cantaloupe plant. And it goes, and it goes, and it goes, and it goes. And I'm not joking. It is taking over the yard. Okay. But in the meantime, there's my melons that I'm waiting on. So it won't be long. I'm going to give this another week or two for these two. And then I'm probably going to give this about another month. It's starting to turn and get the veins on it and the fissures at the top. So I'm going to do that one. But remember my slow growing ones? That one's starting to just now take off. That one's still waiting. But then this one has now, in just a week, look at it. She's taken off. And I've got a peekaboo melon there. I've got a couple of them already. Some are, oh, there she is. She's hiding. Look at that one over there. And then I got a little baby one starting right there. And then, of course, we come over here. And the 2 little ones just never took off. But this one, she is taken off. So it's got to be the weather here in Louisiana, because it's so hot in the middle of the summer, that I think that the spring and the fall, we're getting better outcomes with the fruit. It's starting to ripen now, starting to bloom. The pomegranate bushes, it takes 2 years for them to bloom and to produce fruit. So I got this year and next year I started this tree. So I don't know if it's going to be fitting in this pot much longer, and I'll have to plant her outside. All right, guys. So for this update and more, hope to see you at Lori's World. And remember, you're never too old or too young to start a home garden for yourself. Experiment. You're going to kill some. You're going to grow some. We're not all green thumbs right off the bat. It takes time and practice. I, for one, know that I enjoyed this. As much work as this garden has been for the summer, I'm going to actually do even more next summer to try it. I'm going to try corn and watermelon on top of the cantaloupes and some cucumbers. So, all right. I hope to see you later at Lori's World. Have a blessed day. Okay, here's a little attachment to add to the end of my video. I went ahead and cut it up. As you see, I couldn't go as low as you normally would because it still wasn't quite ripe, but I still got enough to the point where, look at this. Look how soft. It just breaks right off of my fingers. So we're still going to have enough for me and Tim as a little side dish to go with our meat for the perfect little summer busy meal. Barbecue some meat with some fresh cantaloupe from the garden. All right, I'm going to put this in the icebox, get it nice and cold. And man, and then there's your seeds. All right, everybody. Hope you have a blessed day. Yum.